Let's take you back. Around 3:50 this afternoon, this is one of the areas that we were watching for the potential of a tornado, maybe even a tornado. This is Branford as we head down towards New Haven County. You do see lots of heavy rain down there. Switching it over to something called the velocity signature, what we look for is something that's a different color than the colors around it. That kind of indicates that something might be going on. You're seeing these bright pinks here right around North Branford, north of 95, around Guilford. Again, this is 350. Switching it over to something called the correlation coefficient, that shows where, hey, maybe something's being thrown up in the atmosphere, something's not matching the things that are falling around it, which would have been raindrops. So you're seeing this area again, general same area, Branford, North Branford, around Guilford, that we were watching. And then we're also watching an area into Plainfield, into Windham County a little bit later in the evening. We'll talk about that in just a second. I told you we were going to talk about the other potential tornado that we had in Connecticut. Taking you over here to Plainfield in Windham County, there was a warning issued for this, but by the time the warning was issued, it looked like the greatest threat had moved into Rhode Island. So this was around 4:50 this afternoon. Lots of heavy rain coming down on 395 right around Plainfield. And then this is an area of concern. Again, before 5 o'clock this afternoon, there was this area on the correlation coefficient, which shows you if there's something of a different size versus the thing surrounding it, which again, that was rain at that point. So this shows potentially something being thrown into the atmosphere just to the east of Plainfield, crossing the Connecticut-Rhode Island state line just before 5 o'clock. Now let me take you over here. Let's go ahead and talk about some of those tornadoes that we saw across the state for your Saturday. 4 confirmed tornadoes across Connecticut is what we've got from the National Weather Service, strongest of which was an EF1. Now into Plainfield, EF0 tornado, that crossed the state line. Very impressive. This tornado was on the ground for almost 15 minutes, traveling over 6 miles between Connecticut and then traveled up towards Foster, Rhode Island. Another one that we saw, that was the Cheshire tornado, another EF0, 75-mile-an-hour max winds on the ground for about 5 minutes. Now the third tornado, Branford, EF0, 85-mile-an-hour winds on the ground only for 2 minutes. And the final tornado, this one was in Stonington. This also crossed the state line into Rhode Island on the ground for over 5 minutes. This was the strongest one, EF1 Shannon, with those max winds of 90 miles an hour. Now, as far as our tornadoes go that we saw on Saturday, we had EF0, 3 of those, and then the strongest was an EF1 with that max estimated wind speed of 90 miles an hour. So yes, these are on the lower end of the scale, but they still cause quite a bit of damage, as we've seen across parts of Connecticut from Saturday afternoon. So how do they determine that it's a tornado versus straight line wind damage, which we did see some of that as well? So the National Weather Service, they go out and they assess the damage direction and the pattern. What they're looking for is evidence of circulation when it comes to different areas that see the damage after the storms push through. They also use some video, as well was the case for one of the tornadoes that they confirmed. They actually confirmed it was a tornado because they got images and videos in. So when it comes to straight line winds, typically the trees or the crops, they're all pushed in one direction, versus with a tornado, they look for the debris at angles. So it's a more chaotic looking damage pattern versus with straight line winds, the damage is all in a straight line.